In my company, both are there, but it's like much more which we are using actually. So like I can talk about the combination of the clouds. They are not only depending on one single cloud. They are having the mixed flavor of the cloud. Okay, some of the services are deployed in Azure cloud. Some of the services are deployed in AWS clouds. All this kind of architecture they are following. Okay?
Okay.
And you may heard about the Terraform. So Terraform is like unique for any cloud actually. Okay, so once you have developed some particular script, you are not saying this script is specific to some particular cloud. Okay, this service
Mm.
is specific to some particular cloud. Those are totally cloud independent stuff.
Yeah.
So that you are going to see. Okay. Now we are going to see some basic thing as part of the Azure architecture. Okay. What is the core Azure architecture components are there? So if you see here, we have gone through the couple of things like infrastructure as a services, right? Infrastructure as
Yeah.
a. So what will come in the infrastructure? So we have the category. Three categories are here. One is compute category. If you see, this is the compute category, this is the storage category, and this is the network category here. Okay. So if I
Yeah.
talk about now, this is the data center. In this data center, all three things will be available. Infrastructure as a service, cloud as a service. Okay. And
Yeah.
we will see the software as a service also there. But as of now, we are going to discuss about each and everything. So this diagram is one of the best diagram which you can keep in your mind. And I'm going to take the photo. So let me take the photo of it. Can I take the photo for you? It will be possible from here actually. There is an option to take a photo, take a snap. Right? So I will take a snap, but how?
Snipping tool also there, no snipping tool.
Yeah, but it is not. Okay, I need to. I will take the screenshot and paste here. Okay, no problem. Let's take the screenshot.
Print screen.
Yeah, yeah, that is the thing. Yeah, print the screen and let me check. I can paste it here. So
Paint.
this is the diagram actually, which is going to help you out to get providing. Yeah, this is the diagram actually. Yeah, you are able to see the diagram. This is the diagram. Now we can discuss
Yeah.
about the diagram. So yeah, infrastructure as a service. So what things will come infrastructure as a service like computing, virtual machine will come infrastructure as a service. Containers and Azure Kubernetes will come under the infrastructure as a service. Okay. Storage we can see that there are four kind of storage are there. Blob is there, queue is there, and
Yeah.
files are there and disks are there. Okay, so what things comes under not infrastructure as a service, you can say what things comes under the infrastructure. Okay, categories. Okay, what
Compute,
things comes
storage,
under
and network.
infrastructure? Yeah, storage comes under the infrastructure, compute comes under the infrastructure, right? And networking, what kind of networking we are going to see, like virtual machines we are going to see, load balancer we are going to see, DNS domain naming system we are going to see, right? And the
Yeah.
traffic manager, what is the difference between load balancer and the traffic manager? Okay, what do you mean by VPN gateway, app gateway? Now let me ask you the question. So I just told you the functions, right? This is the Azure function. So Azure function is working like a platform as a service.
Mm.
Database is working like a platform as a service, right? All those
Yeah.
things are working as a database as a service. Database as a service. Okay.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
those kind of things we are going to see. And what else is there? We can observe, right? We can observe like what are the I you have seen the different kind of categories like what services will come under the developer. So developer will come like virtual studio, visual studio is the developer tool, right? And we
Yeah.
have the
Vision.
Azure DevOps. Those are the developer tools are there. So
Yes.
question will come as part of your certification. What services will come under the platform as a service, right? So you
Okay.
can see the Azure function plus SQL database is working like a platform as a service. Okay. If
Okay.
anybody asking what is the virtual machine will come as a infrastructure as a service. Okay. What are
Okay.
the hybrid cloud solutions we having? So Azure Monitor is the hybrid cloud solution which is going to work for the public cloud plus private cloud. Yeah. And what kind of security management systems are there? So there security centers is there, Azure portal is there, Azure Active Directory is there. Those are comes under the security and management things. Yeah, automation, key vault. I was talking about. We will keep your things inside the key vault, right? That is the Azure key vault. So Azure
Yeah.
Marketplace here, where from where you are going to have the image available. You have API gateways. All those things are there. So slowly you will get much more visibility about all this kind of stuff. Yeah, no need to worry
Okay.
about that. You will get to know some notification hub is there, some service fabric is there. So those are the basic services which you are going to observe, right? Let's proceed.
Okay.
Oh. Hmm. Let's proceed. Let's be up and running. Okay. Now we are going to discuss about what are the compute services available as part of the Azure. Okay.
Okay.
So what are the compute services? So we have seen the virtual machines are available first of all, right? And then we having the skill sets for the virtual machine. Suppose I would like to have combination of I would like to scale up using the Windows or the Linux environment that which comes under the skill sets actually. Okay. So
Yeah.
that things are there. We have Kubernetes. I just talked about some containers are there, right? Container kind of enablement of management of the clusters.
Yeah.
That runs on the containerized services, and with some fabric services are there. Fabric services are like distributed system. Do you understand what do you mean by distributed system platforms?
No.
Let me give you the visibility. You have the mobile phone, right? Mobile phone having the Facebook application. So whenever you're clicking on the Facebook application, are you entering the username password something in the Facebook application?
Which one?
I'm saying you have the mobile, right? In mobile, you having the
Yeah.
Facebook application, right?
Yeah.
While you are connecting to the internet and you are clicking on your Facebook application, every time are you providing the username or password, something like
No,
that?
no, no. No.
No.
Automatically
Why
it will keep.
even in case of the desktop application, if you are making your username password
Yeah.
save also, right? In
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
that things are going to be pop up, but definitely in your application, in case of Facebook application, some data is staying in your location actually, in your local location, and you are able to see even your internet is off now. Actually, you will see some pages, right? In your application, even internet is off, you are able to see like you can scroll down, scroll up without internet connectivity as well. So whenever your data is not residing in one particular central distributed central area, your data is distributed across the machines, right? Across the platform that comes under distributed system. So that kind of service you will observe as part of the Azure Fabric services actually. Okay. Azure
Yeah.
Batch is what whenever you're talking about the particular operation need to be done in a single go. That is nothing but the Azure Batch kind of services. Okay. To manage services for the parallel and high performance computing application. So suppose you would like to do the same task, but instead of doing the task one by one, you can make the batch of this particular service. In this way, you can achieve the high performance for your applications, right? That
Application.
kind of
Okay.
service. You may heard about it as of now.
Mm,
Even Azure functions, what is the Azure function? Those are serverless computing actually. Okay. You are not
yeah.
supposed to be think about the EC2 instance. You are not supposed to think about the access. You are not supposed to be maintain the scalability. All those things are going to be happen event driven. Suppose every 5 o'clock, one particular what to say report is getting generated, right?
Yeah.
Every day 5 o'clock report is getting generated, and report will get generated
Mm,
after execution of some particular functionality. Okay, so my functionality is executing hardly for 5 minutes only. Then why I need to have the my server up and running all the time, right? So that kind
yeah.
of problem need to be solved. So what is going to be happen? One event is there which is need to be executed. One functionality is there which is need to be done. Okay, so one particular program is going to be executed, which is going to generate some reports. So I'm not supposed to maintain the entire infrastructure for that particular computing thing, right? I can simply have the deployment of my application, which is going to be executed for certain amount of time for the certain from particular schedule, like 5 to 5:30 only my application will execute. Okay, and then it will
Okay.
generate the logs to me. So I'm not supposed
Logs.
to have my application up and running all the time. I just want my application up and running for half an hour of time only. So such kind of requirement where I'm not supposed to be think about what to say scalability. Okay, sometimes so much data is there, so much processing is required, or it should be done for a high amount of time. Not so I'm not damn sure it is going for the half an hour only. If data is much, it is going to execute it for much more time, right? So
Yeah.
like event is supposed to be happen. So the scalability is not supposed to be problem for you. Suppose you would like to do your entire processing within half an hour. So not only one Azure function will be there, couple of Azure function will work parallelly to make your
Okay.
request complete at the same time, right? Within half an hour of time. Maybe your
Yeah.
and maybe your means you don't know, like you need one function or multiple functions. So if Azure function will need some more functionality, automatically it will call some other Azure function. So you are not the person who are supposed to configure the thing. You would like to
Yeah.
leave all the overhead related to the scaling or the permission or the maintaining the servers, right? That kind of things called the serverless thing. So that is possible from the Azure function. Yeah. So
Yeah.
those kind of things you will see. So those are the computing things which comes under the Azure. So we have the virtual machine, we have the skill sets. Why skill sets? Combination of the virtual machine. I would like to host. I would like to scale up, right? Means I would like to say like 10 similar kind of virtual machine I want. Then
Okay.
Azure machine skill set is going to help me out. Virtual machine I can get using the Azure machine, virtual machine only, Azure virtual machine only, but same similar kind of application I want in a one go. That is going to be happen from Azure virtual machine skill sets, right? Kubernetes told you like container kind of services. So not only single container, I would like to have the combination of containers, okay, which is to help
Okay.
me out. That is going to be happen with the help of Kubernetes service, right? And I was talking about some distributed application I want. Some data should be stay in the client server, some data should be stay in the central servers, right? This way I'm not supposed to have the single point of failure. I'm supposed to have the better performance, right? And I would like to keep some data in the on premises. I would like to keep some data on the Azure server in the data centers. Such kind of services are going to come under the Azure service fabric. Actually we are discussing all the things right now, but whenever you go for the practice paper now, you will get much more visibility which kind of questions are coming, how exactly I can crack my what to say the certification, and they are not going to ask about each and every service, okay, which are not that much popular. They are going to ask about the popular services only. Okay, so no need to worry about that. Once we will go through the what to say the practice papers, you will get to know like only three terminologies you will go through, like Azure virtual machine, Azure machine skill set, and Azure function. Those are the much more famous kind of terminologies which are going to used as part of your certification, okay, and even which are much more famous. So like whenever you're learning something, everything is there in the course, but some important thing will come into the picture, right, as part of your exam or the certificate.
Yeah.
Same thing
Yeah.
here. So many services are there, but some services are only quite famous, quite powerful, which is supposed to be, or what to say, utilized as part of the real time, right? So
Yes.
that's why you will need to know about them only. That is more than sufficient for you. So any doubt here as of now for those compute services? You would like to ask any questions specific to any specific service, compute service as part of Azure?
No. It's compute means it's like we are
Process.
managing the services, right? Basically.
Compute means who is responsible to execute your application.
Okay.
Yeah, laptop
Yeah.
is a compute service for us. Like it's running this PPT, it's running the browser, it's
Application.
right, right.
Yeah.
Those things comes under the computing thing, right?
Computing. Yeah. So
And
if you
yeah.
one more thing, if
Mm-hmm.
you compare this AWS and Azure, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I guess Azure, why it is popular, because I think it is Windows based. That's why, right?
No, it's not like this. Whenever you're going to create a virtual machine, in the real-time servers are Linux servers only, right? Not Windows server. In the
Okay.
real life, you tell me,
Yeah.
you are logging to the server. The
Yeah. Yeah.
Windows commands are working. Let me show you something here. Mm, See here. If I'm doing ls, is it working here? No, right? If
No.
I'm doing dir, it's working here. Why? Because dir is the window command. CL is
Yeah.
the window command. So window
Yeah.
commands you're not doing in the real life, right? In the real life
Yeah.
only you having the Linux servers. So as part
Yes.
of virtual machine creation also, I was choosing the Ubuntu, if you do remember, right? Ubuntu,
Yeah.
Linux, whatever the flavor I
Ubuntu
would have
Linux.
for the
Yeah.
virtual machine. So it's like
Yeah.
each and every cloud provider having their own set of services, which are
Okay.
much more worthful for their business. So
Yeah.
whenever they're thinking about the business, whenever they are thinking about the requirement, which particular cloud is providing them much more flexibility to do the things, right? If
Correct.
I'm saying
Correct.
you need to write the hello world program in Java, you need to write hello world program in Python, you will find that, okay, Python is quite worthful for me to write hello world. I can simply write print and I will double quotation hello world and done. But in case of
Yes.
not like this, you are supposed to have the main method, you are supposed to have the class, you are supposed to have the out statements, and then only you can print the hello world. You need to
Yeah.
compile it, you need to run it, everything you need to know for doing the one single program of Java, right? So
Yes.
it's like requirement, which particular cloud is satisfying their requirements. It's all decision of the architect person, right?
Yeah.
Technology architect. So it's like this only. Okay, some services which are, and even I told you, like nowadays nobody using the single cloud. They are using the multiple cloud, right? So
Okay.
some services are quite like I tell you, I like in the case of the company environment, na, most of people are using the Azure authentication services actually. Okay,
Okay.
Azure authentication services for the SSO, multi-factor authentication, SSO, single sign-on, right? They're using the Azure kind of services which are going to provide the much more security. Okay.
Security. Okay.
Yeah. So nobody is preferring possibly related to the AWS, but some peoples are using the AWS for their requirement, right? So it's all about what kind of service is much more worthful for you whenever it's coming to the real life requirement, right? This is
Yeah.
like you can't simply compare the Azure is worthful or AWS is worthful, and whatever the point you kept, like you said me, is having the windows. It's not like this. Yeah, one of the best thing I can talk about the Azure, you are going to have the most of option graphically, that I can agree actually. Okay,
Okay.
graphics, everything is going to be done using the graphics. If you having zero knowledge in the programming also, you can survive in Azure. Okay,
Yeah.
sometimes the thing is not possible in terms of the AWS, but AWS also equivalent providing all the GUIs nowadays. It's not like I'm supposed to know the things. Okay,
Yeah.
uh, all cloud providers are providing, but one of the best thing about the uh, Windows platform, even you are using the Windows environment from your childhood itself, you don't know
Yeah.
programming, you can use the Windows. But in
Yeah.
terms of what to say, Macintosh, if you have ever used, okay, in case of
Yeah.
Macintosh, somehow the that much things are not possible from the GUI side. Sometimes you are supposed to deal with the backend console. If
Yeah.
you have ever used the Macintosh, right? Some installation of the packages that is specific to the developer. I'm not talking about the end user. That is specific to the developer. Some packages, some things. But in case of the what to say Windows, you have never seen. You are installing something from the command line. Most of the time
Yeah.
you are installing from the software package, that is .exe file, right? So that is the
Yeah.
advantage in terms of the Azure.
Yeah.
Little bit advantage, not much, but in terms of the developer, Azure is not that much good for them because Azure is pushing .NET only. Azure is
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
pushing the Java or Python. If you go
Python.
for
Yeah.
the AWS, you will see AWS is much more pushing developer for the Python side, much more
Python.
for the Java side. Okay,
Okay.
because they know those are the very quite famous, and they are the open source kind of languages, right? Which are
Yeah.
quite famous. So for the enterprise development purpose, so that's why most of people are going for the cloud based on their requirement. If you want to much more analytics, if you want much more what to say related to the AI, right? AI kind of stuff. So they are going for GCP.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Okay.
it's all about what kind of requirement we are having. We are not the person who are deciding. Those
Okay.
are the subject matter experts, which is known as the SME. Okay.
SMS.
And
Okay.
those peoples are the architect level peoples. They are looking into the business requirement and what kind of cloud is best suitable for them. Then only they are going for those particular clouds. Even
Okay.
I can say about myself, sometimes I feel much more comfortable in AWS instead of Azure because
No.
Azure even having the things, but it's all
Yeah.
about brand mapping, how things are visible to you. Even I'm going to the Azure console, I'm going to AWS console, I'm easily able to see the IAM, this identity and access management kind of services are global services, which are much more visible to me in AWS. Okay,
Yeah.
even those are not much more visible to me in terms of the Azure UI. If you see, right, Azure console.
Console.
Those are not
Okay.
much more visible to me. I can see the type of the instances. I told you generation of the what kind of requirement you having for that particular kind of CPUs, right? Two CPU,
Yeah.
four CPU, RAMs, ROMs, all those things. So I hope so. I have much more visibility in terms of the AWS. Then I'm getting less visibility in Azure. So it's all about requirements. It's all about UI. Everybody having their own target to
Yeah.
do the cloud, right?
Okay.
So I hope
Yeah.
this is sufficient for you for today. Yeah, we
Yeah.
can do the same thing for tomorrow because I know it's a new thing and it cannot be like very what to say digestible in the
Yeah.
very beginning. Yeah, but you have 2 days of time now, Saturday and Sunday. Yeah, so you can
Yeah.
do one thing. You can just can go through it. I'm going to do one thing. I'm going to share this PPT with you. Okay,
Okay.
you can simply go through the PPT content data. Okay, even you
Okay.
have the videos available,
Yeah.
which I'm recording right now, so you can listen my words again and again, and
Okay.
you simply refer it even as part of my YouTube channel also. Lots of
Okay.
discussion I did as part of the AZ-900. Okay, so
Okay.
we discussed the architect level, how exactly architect is thinking, what kind of
Okay.
services are there, how exactly services are working. But firstly, you may not capture them because you should have some background related to the cloud, right?
Yeah.
So for these, doing the things from the very beginning, and you will get it very soon. Yeah, and
Yeah.
just go through this PPTs. Actually, we having near to 400 or 300 plus PPT. It's like a 344 PPTs are there. So no need to worry about the PPT. We are just learning some popular services. We are
Okay.
supposed all services are there, but we are supposed to know the popular services which are going to help you for the certification and which are really used in the real time only. Okay.